All right, as the world gears up for COP30 in Brazil, Lagos State, Africa's largest subnational economy, is positioning itself as a leading model for climate action and sustainable growth on the continent through the Office of Climate Change and Circular Economy. Lagos is advancing innovative, inclusive, and finance-driven initiatives that bridge local realities with global climate ambitions. The state's participation of COP30 underscores its commitment to driving tangible, scalable solutions for urban resilience, clean energy, and green finance. Well, joining us now for this conversation, we have Mrs. Titilayo Oshodi. She's the Special Advisor on Climate Change and Circular Economy to Lagos State Governor. She's joining me right there from Brazil. Good morning, ma. Great to have you.
Hola, good morning.
Fantastic. How's the weather over there in Brazil?
It's very warm. The temperature is mild, a bit of wind and droplets here and there, but it's nice. It's a real tourist delight.
Fantastic. So no extreme weather right there, even though we're talking about climate change at this point. So, Mrs. Oshodi, we see Lagos is one of the few African subnational governments with an official presence at COP30. Why is this important, and what will Lagos be showcasing?
Well, Lagos is Africa's largest city, and it's a microcosm of the continent's climate reality. We have it's ranging from energy access to transport and food systems. So at COP30, we're not just going to be talking about ambition. We're going to be showing implementation. Lagos will be presenting real, scalable, sustainable models. The bride in the room is the 80 million Clean Cook Stove Initiative, which is the world's largest Article 6.4 approved clean energy project. We also have e-mobility programs that are going to be demonstrated and showcased by our Lagos Metropolitan Transport Agency, LAMATA, where we're going to also be expressing climate smart agriculture solutions from the Ministry of Agriculture, because projects and models of turning waste to biogas, to clean energy, is also on our plate. And of course, within that clean energy space, the Lagos State Parking Authority also will be showcasing one of the climate resilient solutions that is proposed to be installed across Ibile Division. So these are climate resilient program of activities that validates our framework within circular economy and climate action plan. And they're not just policy documents, but there are investment pipelines. So we're positioning Lagos as Africa's subnational hub for green innovation and for finance.
Right, and definitely we keep talking about how recently we're talking about how states, some states, in Nigeria, are able to, fund their activities without relying heavily, on facts. So funding is critical. At this point. Talk to me about, private sector collaboration and, financing, especially collaboration for financing, that we're seeing right now.
You are spot on right there. Funding is really, really very critical. And the public-private partnership is at the heart of Lagos climate success. You will agree that the administration of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu prides itself on this interdepartmental, interrelational, interministerial deliverable. So the government alone, cannot finance the green transition. We have to establish partnerships, and we have, as we go towards our COP Lagos Focus Day, partnerships with the Wando Clean Energy, Green Plains Africa, Lekki Free Zone. We're demonstrating how to de-risk investment and mobilize capital for city-level projects. These are the alliances that we're creating, and we're expanding them, so that we're able to create green jobs. We're able to unlock the carbon finance that is inherent in the nature and the, water resources that Lagos is, predominantly sitting within, and we're proving that climate action can only drive economic growth. We have empirical data, and the 8 million clean cooks, of which Lagos will be anchoring, is being distributed across households, where we're generating good financial projects, as we had already piloted about 20 in Makoko, generating 15 tons. We're monetizing carbon credits, we're reducing emission, we're improving indoor air quality, and all of these involvements with ministries, the agriculture, the construction sector, are circularizing waste, for briquettes for the fueling of this clean cook stove. So we're very, very optimistic towards optimizing growth stimulation. We're very optimistic about the project investment in itself. We're looking at a projection of about 35 million jobs to be created. So PPP is definitely the way to go.
All right, let's look at some of the narratives now. We've heard that argument that when it comes to transition, Africa needs a just transition, and definitely we've heard the developed economies and countries, they have done more harm to the climate than we have, and we need a just transition. So what message will Lagos be taking to this meeting at this point, and by extension, Nigeria?
Well, our mandate is simple in Lagos, and it is clear. We're building a climate-smart economy that creates jobs, that unlocks capital and protects the most vulnerable. You have said it, that we're the most impacted. We're bearing the brunt of the industrialized economies, but in the spirit of just transition, we have to customize and we have to localize our solutions, taking in from a nuanced perspective what will be most desirable, what would be most appropriate, and what would be most convenient and comfortable and affordable as well. And the message is clear. Local action delivers global impact. Lagos is proving that Africa's solutions are not theoretical. They're already being implemented, and they can be scaled, with the right financing. And we understand that, the global capital is shifting, and investors want purpose and profit. Our ESG compliance is no longer optional. It is a market demand. So Lagos is responding. Lagos is responding with ESG integrated project design. We're responding with SDG aligned impact metrics. We're putting regulatory clarity in place. We want to be reform-minded. We want to drive a leadership that is minded about the communities. We're community-centric. We're community-focused. So this is how we want to start to invite our global partners. We want them to understand that, this is more about the communities, and we need to listen. We need to understand their needs and how we can, dimension and unpack their solutions, as it is suitable for them. So we're inviting global partners, all the DFIs, the investors, the philanthropies, to join us in turning our commitments into capital and innovation into impact. And, from Lagos to the world, this is how we want to be able to finance Africa's green transition.
Right, and talking about this transition, we try to use cleaner alternatives for cooking. And right now in Lagos, we know the price of cooking gas is really expensive, and there's a risk that would make the vulnerable side of the community look at dirtier alternatives for cooking. If cooking gas gets really expensive, and there's also that scare that it might even get scarce at some point. So is this a risk for Lagos State aligning, with the climate agenda, little issues, like that we see with expensive, cleaner alternatives?
Well, it is not the plan, within the just transition to make clean energy more expensive. It has to be affordable. This is one of the areas that we're essentially beginning to focus on. We know that clean energy will talk about electrification, but it would also talk about clean cooking. And that's why we're excited about the Clean Cook Stove, the 80 million Clean Cook Stove initiative. Targeted towards the woman. It is targeted towards the vulnerable community. If people have to live, they have to eat. And through cooking, there's so many other program of activities that will be unfolded, that will be beneficial for the community. From the 20 pilots that we have already extended towards the communities in Makoko, we can see clearly that our kitchen performance test is bringing the right numbers, the data that we need to be able to measure nuance, to be able to measure social equity, to be able to measure economic development, because these women, not only do they now have a bit more time to be able to look into other things and even generate some form of entrepreneurial journey in their homes. They have reduced inhalation, bad inhalation is reduced in their homes. They feel a lot more sense of worth. And they are also beginning to work towards relating with one another to help each other. So it's almost like the stove in each home is becoming the nexus for interrelativity, the nexus for economic growth, and most importantly, even for better health trajectory. So we're very, very hopeful. We're very, very pumped and excited about the opportunities that this will unfold. All that we need right now is to be able to have a hands-on, positioning with the necessary investment partners to take this to the next level. Right.
We need that investment, definitely. But can you share some examples of, flagship projects under the OCCE that are already making an impact on communities?
Well, one of the flagship ones that we always pride ourselves in is the EcoCirculate. And it's a waste valorization business development program that is driven from community to community. We have piloted about 5 communities right now. Ayobo, we've done Badagry, we've done Trade Fair, we've gone Shangotedo, and they are simulative tests, to help us to get the communities interact directly with their waste, and also help them to see what sort of value that is inherent in keeping and hoarding their waste rather than discarding them irresponsibly. We also use that to develop access to market for business entrepreneurs who are within the green sustainably linked space. So waste collectors, fashion and textile upcyclers, electronic waste people, all have a chance to be able to interface with the communities. And at the end of the day, when we're done, we try to institute those waste collectors in the spaces by establishing a collection hub. It's another space where investors can play as well, because each community, each local government across the Ibilia divisions have waste generating on a daily basis. It's a household of about 3 tons on a daily basis in Lagos. We're still underutilized in terms of waste management. We're not optimizing as much as we can. So we want to give the control back to the household rather than drop that waste on the road that will end up in the gutter or on the dump site. You can actually retain them, have them sorted, and also have them exchanged either for cash or for any of the mandates or the social amenities that the ministries within Lagos State effectively discharge. So we're very, very proud of EcoCirculate. We have another program that is called the Leave No One Behind, and it's a waste to clean energy biogas program, and we had that instituted, we had that run with the correctional facility in Idiaraba. These are also areas where we would like to replicate across the divisions, across the state, across the metropolis, because not only were we able to establish a waste to energy, a waste to biogas within the kitchen, we were also able to establish a climate-smart agriculture organic growth within those spaces. So these are facilities that replicate the sort of model that we can run even within organic, within estates, across Lagos State. So we have Leave No One Behind. Even in our Lausa in itself, we have a collection hub already that is already generating a revenue both for the collectors and also for the civil servants within the space. So there's so many areas that we can begin to look at green economy, touch lives, through the pocket, operationalize the ideals of circular economy, and establish sort of financing that we need to be able to take us to the next level in Lagos and ultimately for Nigeria. We're happy the country has already established a framework, a carbon framework, and that's definitely something in the right direction, a step in the right direction, and we're really, really excited about the green finance that it proposes for us.
Yeah, it's quite interesting because, driving around Lagos, I noticed, young guys, picking all those bottles and, putting it in their pack there. I guess they're going to exchange that for cash, somewhere. But, talk to me about, the kind of support or outcomes, Lagos is hoping to secure from international partners and financiers at COP30. We'd already, expressed that handshake. We're very, very intentional about opening up the space. We're very, very intentional about the sort of financial structure that is unique for us. We need to take into so many factors, from behavioral to customs to language to the level, the type, and the style of communication. These are risk factors that must be engaged, within an investment portfolio. And even now, with the meetings and the engagements that I've had for the past 2 days at the local leaders forum, it is clear that for Africa, the work, the trajectory, the models have to be customized. They have to be localized, to help us. And there's so many, because we're so community driven. We are very relational in our behavior. The styles of financing has to incorporate, it has to integrate into that space where you can help each other to build each other up. So the local leaders forum, the past 2 days, today is the third day, is definitely the right tool. It's definitely the right pathway for us to be able to understand how to make Africa work for Africa, and also how to introspectively and internally generate revenue by ourselves. We don't all the time have to go to the global north. Yes, there's a role, but I think that there's also that role, a place where we have to start and build to an extent. And we have organizations and banks like the AFDB, who is also proactively pushing out, projects that are designed for the African economy, because they understand what this is about. So we're on the path, and work is ongoing, and we're very, very hopeful that before we get to a point where the inaction is going to cost us a lot of money, we will be tipping things, we will be making things work. Fantastic. And definitely it's countdown to COP30 at this point. Thank you so much for bringing us up to speed. And definitely we hope you have a great outing out there. Mrs. Titilayo Oshodi is a special advisor on climate change and circular economy to the Lagos State Governor. Thank you so much for coming on today, ma'am.
Thank you for having me. Have a good day.
All right, we'll take a break now. When we come back, we get a check on the latest Eurobond offering by the federal government. That's in a moment. Just stay with us.